President would like to let us know that the team that has been selected will be ratified by the General Counsel. However, these folks that we will name today are athletes that have met the qualifying standard within the qualifying period. There are one or two outstanding items which relate to athletics, which has a later qualifying period, but I'll leave that to the chair to give you more information on that. Chair of the Standards Committee, Madam.
Hi there. So thank you for having us. It's an honor and a privilege as somebody who has made 2 Pan American Games teams to announce the current Pan American Games team to represent Bermuda in Lima in July and August.
Yes.
July and August. We'll get started. For athletics, Shaquille Dill, Dej Miners, Janai Parenchief, and Tyrone Smith. For bowling, Gloria June Dill, Patrice Tucker, Damian Matthews, and David Maycock. For cycling, Caitlin Conyers. Rowing, Michelle Shelley Pearson. Sailing, Cecilia Woolman with crew Michael Woolman and Malcolm Ben Smith. For squash, Noah Brown, Micah Franklin, and Nicholas Kime. And finally for triathlon, Flora Duffy, Erica Hawley, and Tyler Smith. And as the Secretary General just said, we are waiting on Just Athletics, which has a qualification deadline of June 26th. So it's very possible that we will be adding more track and field athletes to the team.
Reverend Ms. King, as the chef of this team, how important is it that you stay in touch with these athletes who have now been announced as part of the Bermuda team to ensure that every detail is covered before they get to Peru and ensure that they can compete at the highest level for them?
Well, first of all, I'd like to congratulate the team that's been selected. We have 19 athletes who have met the standards, and thanks to Katrina and her committee for the hard work they've done. It's quite an accomplishment to get to that level because it's a very high quality competition. So I'm really excited to work with the managers and coaches as well as the athletes, and knock on wood that we'll have a few more track and field athletes qualify as now they're in their peak season. So as a chef, my goal is really to provide as much support, encouragement for the managers and coaches as well as the athletes so they can perform at their optimal level. Whatever needs to be done, I'm there. You know, if Katoro is a competitor, I also competed, I wouldn't even say what year that was in the Pan Am Games, before you were born. You know, we all understand the hard work and commitment and dedication that goes to qualifying for international competitions such as the Pan American Games. And I don't take my job lightly. I think we had a meeting last week with some of the managers and coaches, and I'm there at their service and vice versa. Ultimately, I will be responsible for any and everything that happens or doesn't happen. And so whatever we need to do to provide the environment, the support, you know, transportation, food, you know, all that, to make sure that they're comfortable, they have the adequate training that they need in preparation and psychological preparation as well. I consider that as part of all our roles. You know, obviously the coaches and the managers will be managing their athletes. I will make myself available. Hopefully before I leave at the end of July, I'll have the opportunity to spend some time with each team. I've already requested that, you know, we do some one-on-ones and get to know each other so they know me. I've been away a long time, so I don't know the younger crowd as well as I did in earlier years. And building relationships is really important. And so, you know, representing our country is indeed an honor, and I consider this opportunity also an honor. So whatever I can do to provide support, encouragement, knock on the door, wake up in the morning for a 6 o'clock training, whatever it may be, you know, it's all encompassing, and I look forward to that opportunity and challenge.
So, Couture, your organization, your group, your committee, how difficult was it to go through the process of ensuring that these athletes met the qualifying standards set by not only the IOC but the BOA, because you did raise the standard?
Right. So I love that you asked that question. This is actually our first in a long time fully qualified Pan American Games team. And the reason we've done that is that, as you said, we've raised the standard. We have an expectation that the athletes that we send abroad to represent Bermuda very, very well. And they are not out of their depth in competitions of this magnitude. The Pan American Games will have some of the best athletes, not just in the Pan American region, but in the world, on the globe. So our athletes will have to go toe-to-toe with these people, and we are confident that those that we have selected based on their incredible performances over the qualifying period will be able to represent Bermuda very, very well.
One of the names mentioned in the team was Flora Duffy, and obviously it's a well-known story that she's currently injured, but is making plans to come back in July. What talks have we had with her with possibly participating in the Pan American Games, as she is a current bronze medal?
So she is, as you said, Flora is currently injured, but the Bermuda Triathlon Association, acting as her agent, as her NSGB, will be keeping us abreast of that. Right now, we are focused on getting Flora to a point where she can be healthy. The Pan American Games is obviously a priority for us, but Flora's foot is a priority for us as well. So we're going to play it by ear. The Triathlon Association is in talks with Flora constantly, and they'll let us know. But we actually do have a deadline to return the spot if we're not going to use it of May 15th. So we'll know by then if Flora Duffy will be part of our team or not.
So in 7 days, we'll know.
We'll know.
We'll know.
We'll know. Either way.
General Secretary, from the BOA standpoint, as the chairman of the competition committee said, this is the first time we've had in a long time where all athletes have met the qualifying standard. There's no wild cards or of that nature. The standard being set, what does the Bermuda Olympic Association look forward to from athletes going forward?
The goal of the association is, of course, podium. That's our long-term goal. And in order to achieve that, we have to start at a higher level. It's just like being in the high jump. If you start at the low level, you're tired by the time you get to the medal level. So what we did at the beginning of this quadrennial was put in place that there will be no wild cards for our athletes. Therefore, athletes had to qualify in their own right in order to compete. With that in mind, we saw the standard raised in the Commonwealth Games. We saw the standard raised in the CAC Games, because now the athletes have expectations of not just being there, but being there to show Bermuda that they are quality athletes and should be representing Bermuda. So the names you've heard today are names of individuals who have met the standard and will, from our expectations, show val. Will they get medals? That is dependent, but at least they're in the fray, because when you meet the standard, you're in with the best of the world.
Mr. Douglas said high jump, and it brings me to this question. Janai Parent-Chief is also injured. What talks have you had with the BNAA about his condition and whether or not he will be able to compete in, I guess, qualify for high jump?
Yes.
High jump in July.
I have the exact same comment. We are in talks with the BNAA, who is in daily contact with Janai. He's rehabbing that injury, and as you know, I mean, injuries are part of sport, part of any sport, and athletes do overcome injuries and have incredible performances. So we're looking forward to great things from Janai, should he be able to participate on the team. But right now, we've named you the members of Team Bermuda, and as far as we know, they'll be able to compete and they'll be able to be competitive.
And one last question for the chef. You've been to Peru a few times. How are things shaping up there?
Well, I was there in January. I was very impressed with the organization committee. They've done a wonderful job with little resources in the beginning to pull this together. At the time when I was there in January, a lot of the facilities still had to be finished, which is nothing new, you know, we're dealing with. But the infrastructure and the massive amount of athletic facilities they've built has been very impressive. We had a 5-day seminar there. They were very welcoming. I was actually very pleasantly surprised. Very organized. They've had all sorts of folks from all over the Paso region come there and support that. The country is behind it. This is a legacy that they're leaving. So when those of us that are going to be there are going to see the facilities, and you know, there's going to be traffic issues and all of that, but the facilities are built to provide opportunities for their future, for their youth, for their people. They're very excited. Lima is a beautiful city. I think our athletes will enjoy the competition, and it will be wintertime there, so that will be a little different from the temperatures we're experiencing now. But all those sorts of things we talk about in advance and will be prepared for. But I'm looking forward to going back. Very optimistic about their ability to host it's a massive event to put on. I mean, you know, for our part of the world, it's truly amazing. Most of the facilities are new, and they're just not, you know, 1,000 people here, but thousands of people. You know, you look at their swimming complex and their baseball and softball. I mean, it's really very impressive. And I had the opportunity to speak to one of the managers who was overseeing the projects, and at that time they had a lot to do. And a lot of us were concerned. I wasn't so concerned. A lot of the chefs were concerned that it would not be done on time, but, you know, so it be. This is part of, you know, preparation, but I think I'm looking forward to an excellent competition and an excellent opportunity to be there with, you know, some of the best athletes in the world.
Logistically, are things in the same proximity, or are some sports?
They are spread out. So sailing is about a 3-hour drive away. We did not get the opportunity to go there because it was so far, but that's already been established. The sailors will be there, and of course I will make sure I get there to obviously. Most of the other facilities are within probably like a 20-mile radius, I'm just guessing. They are spread out, but not ours. You know, the triathlon is right on the coast. And my concern for that is, you know, just the traffic and getting there on time. So we might have to make some arrangements the day before, as an example, so athletes are not stressed out. Track and field and swimming and some other minor sports are pretty centrally located in Lima. They will have a dedicated lane and, of course, police escorts for us. And that's not going to solve the traffic issue, but all those things will work out. And, you know, we'll make sure our athletes and our managers have plenty of time to get to where they need to be. The Olympic Village, the athletes' village was complete when we got there. They were just doing some of the outside beauty of the place, but we got to visit the suites and the accommodations, and everyone was really pleased with that. But, you know, travel time, you know, you better book your taxi now. But that's always part of competition. You know, you have to put those things in consideration. But I was, as I said, I was really pleasantly surprised with the organization of the games and the number of folks they had, the volunteers. They seemed to have everything lined up and all their ducks in a row as far as that piece is concerned.
And the last question for the chairman, you said you're a two-time American athlete.
Yes.
What can these athletes expect if it's their first time competing in these kind of leagues?
These are such exciting times, I think, especially for young athletes. This is a big event. You know, so when I think of my career and where the Pan American Games fits in it, I mean, right there at the top. So they can expect nerves, they can expect to see people they've only seen on TV, and understanding that we have a whole lot of faith in them. We believe in them, we think that they will do an incredible job, and that's why they've been selected. So regardless of age, regardless of experience, we're expecting for them to all put their best foot forward, and just have a great time. And that's it. I mean, savor these moments, because you're in for a long and hopefully illustrious career.
Audio Jungle.